YouTube, it's Matt Stoner from Static Sound Studios. I'm just going to show you a quick overview of the studio setup I got going on. A lot of people have been asking me questions on what I use to record and how I record and whatnot, so I'm just going to show you guys a quick view of everything I got and a little bit of how to use everything. I might throw you guys some videos in the future of exactly how to use some of this stuff, so for now, I'll just show you guys what I got. First of all, I have my computer, which is a MacBook. This is where I record everything. I just use a bunch of different software to edit everything and make a final product. Logic Pro 9 is what I use to track and edit everything. Reason 4 is a program for programming stuff like synth sounds and drum beats and whatnot. It's a pretty complex program. And T-Rax 3 is like a virtual rack mount for compressors and EQs and reverbs and stuff that I use for editing and mastering. Amplitude 3, which is a really super complex amp modeling software. It's amazing. I use it all the time. I could go on and on and on about it, but I won't. Line 6 Pod Farm 2 is another amp modeling software. Not nearly as complex, a little bit more virtual, but it's just a little bit easier to use, doesn't take as much to open it and whatnot. Gearbox, which is also amp modeling, I never use it. And Wave Burner, which is, it's for mastering and making like a stereo image for all of your songs so they all sound together and burning it all onto one CD. So that's that, and then these miniature monitors from Philips, which sound amazing, and you want to make sure you have really good sounding monitors so that you can get a good clean mix that'll sound good on any speakers you play it on. You don't want something that has too much bass because it'll either, you know, give you too much bass on other speakers and not enough bass on some speakers, so you want to make sure you have really kind of a dry, flat signal. Then this is my OSIS Multimix 4 interface, which I use to plug all my microphones into. It's pretty simple, very basic. It's just got two preamped channels for your microphones, which the preamps I don't use because I have preamps, which I'll show you. You have your high and low EQ, and then your pan left to right, and then your input signal. And then you got your two main outputs, which is controlled by that, and then your headphone output, which I actually have my monitors in. And then down here, I have another interface, which is for my Line 6 Pod Farm. It's just got one direct in for your guitar, and then a volume control. And then that plugs right into the USB as well. I use it for most of my guitar sounds if I'm DIing anything, just because, excuse me, the latency on this interface is almost non-existent. Like, it's pretty sweet, so I use that a lot. And this is just the sub for my monitors. Headphones, pretty important when I have a long cable. I guess that's the only suggestion I have for headphones, for recording vocals and acoustics and whatnot. This is my MIDI control. It is an Alesis Photon 25. It's a 25 key MIDI control, just 2 octaves, and I have the letters over the first octave because I suck. Enough said. Microphone for vocals that I use is a Audio-Technica AT2020. It's a large diaphragm condenser mic. You point it at something and it mics it perfectly. It's got a really good response. I just love the way this sounds. I use it a lot for vocals, obviously, and acoustic. I use it for, sometimes for guitars. I use it for a lot. So that mic is awesome. The guitar I use for recording, electric guitar obviously, is my Telecaster. It's got some modifications done. The biggest one is the pickups. I have the Fender Texas Specials in them. Gives it a little bit hotter, crunchier output without sacrificing the tele twang, which I think Seymour Duncans kind of do, even though they sound really cool. And then my acoustic guitar, which is just a Rogue Dreadnought. Nothing fancy, but it sounds pretty sweet. And down here, I have my guitar amp. I use it sometimes for acoustic, actually, to get like cool delay sounds and twangy, not very realistic sounds. It's my Vox VT40 Plus, and you can hear it starting up now. It is a tube-powered modeling amp. So it models, it's not like a legit tube amp, but it models tube amps, and instead of mocking, quote unquote, tube amps, it actually makes tube sounds, so that's where the tube power comes in. And that's in the Valtronic series. It's their brand new line. It's pretty sweet. I'll show you a little bit real quick. It is a modeling amp. There's 3 different ways you can use it. You can use it in manual mode, which I never use. It's just to fine tweak certain amps and whatnot, but I really don't care. There's preset mode, which gives you 11 amps here, and then 3 different models for each amp. So you end up getting 33 different amps. And then there's another mode under preset mode, which gives you digital effects that would go along with that kind of amp. So say if you have this Cali Clean, for instance, it'll give you what effects would be expected in a pedal board of someone using an amp like that. So that's kind of cool. And then there's bank mode, which is sweet. You have 2 different banks. You have that one, and then you have 4 channels per bank. And so you pretty much get 8 channels, which you can control with the pedal board. And then there's a tuner, which is also a effects bypass, and it also controls the noise gate, built-in noise gate. You just hold that down and move that, and it'll gate all your unwanted noise. That's pretty cool. Then you have your modulation and overdrive effects, and then you have some filter effects and delay effects. Tap tempo for that. And then that controls your depth, and you hold that down and that controls the feedback of it. Pretty cool. It goes from, wow, that's really odd sounding. Okay, that's really loud. Okay. It, what the heck? Okay, it goes from 40 to 60 watts, which is plenty of power. You can hear the random buzzing of random weird effects, which does not sound cool at all. And then, finally, for my guitar amp rig anyways, I have 1 pedal because I just got into building pedal boards and stuff, so still working on that. It's my Ibanez TS9 Tube Screamer. Sweet overdrive for just thickening and crunching up some good cleans. Not too heavy. I actually like it a lot for bass. Sounds really cool, just to give a little fuzz to the bass. And that's pretty much it. I'll show you guys a couple of the things I have in this drawer of extra nonsense. Another mic I use sometimes for acoustic, sometimes for gang vocals, sometimes for overhead, is the Audio-Technica AT2021. It's a small diaphragm condenser mic. It's kind of a little bit more directional than the large diaphragm. It has a little bit higher sound pressure level, so it works good for loud stuff. Sometimes I'll use it on guitar amps, and sometimes I'll use it to double mic an acoustic guitar if I don't mic it in DI. SM57 for sure. Can't complain about this mic at all. It's pretty much, if you point at something, it mics it perfectly. Rugged, super heavy mic, heavy duty. It's a little bright for my taste, I think. It's not bad, but if you're looking for a bright sound, works perfectly for guitars and snares and stuff. If you're looking for something a little warmer, I would suggest not. But actually this mic, which is kind of almost the same thing, it's from Audix. It's called the i5. Super cardioid dynamic mic, just like the SM57. Very directional, like the SM57. It's a little bit warmer. It has a little better on the sound pressure level. It's good for picking up a little bit lower ends than the SM57 per se. It's good to double mic with that, or with other dynamic mics such as the 609 from Sennheiser. So it's a cool mic. It works good for overheads and snares and whatnot. So that is that, and I hope you guys learned a little bit about how to, well, not how to, but, you know, some equipment that you need to set up a little home studio. And soon I will get some videos out on how to use some of this stuff, so keep it locked.